Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe for multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Hello and welcome. You are watching Business Today Television. This is Market Today and I am Sakshi Batra. Also with me is Shail Bhatnagar joining right in. Well, the markets have had a strong opening yesterday after a day of correction, but they did erase most of the gains in the last an hour of trade. In fact, they finally settled with just moderate gains due to profit taking at high levels. The question is, what will it take for the markets to break out of this narrow range of trade? We will tell you all of it, but first up, the top headlines we're tracking for you this hour. Indian stocks are likely to remain range-bound to weak on Wednesday as lack of overseas cues and buying momentum forces bulls to the back foot on the Lal Street. Investors are awaiting the start of the third quarter's earnings season from Thursday onwards as they do the valuations math for the market consolidating near record levels. Very good morning to all our viewers and good morning, Shail, as well. Well, just like how I said, the Nifty has been stuck in a 200-250 point of a range. It's been struggling hard to hold on to that 21,500 mark as the immediate support level as well. Where do you see the Nifty headed going forward from here? Are we going to continue to see this range-bound rate of action and only sectors and stock specifics are going to be in limelight?
Very good morning to you, Sakshi. And a hello from Amchi, Mumbai. Greetings to all our viewers who joined us on this excellent day, as it seems to be panning out as far as weather in Delhi is concerned. But yes, Sakshi, the trend is weak. Let's accept it, and we've been saying it all along. And yesterday was more or less a confirmation of what we've been advocating, that the trend is weak on Nifty, more so on the Bank Nifty. If you look at how wonderfully well the Nifty started yesterday and then built up onto gains, mainly because of a technical rebound in US markets, it gave up everything and more. In fact, if you see the day's high, it was 21,724 and the index ended at 554, almost near its day's low. So 180 point sell off, and it was only because of a technical bounce on Wall Street that happened on Monday that Tuesday looked good for Indian markets. But for the moment, the index, which is the Nifty, it is below the 5 and the 9-day evening exponential moving average, and all sorts of banks are in pain. If you look at January's monthly expiry so far in FNO, all 5 banks that are a part of the Nifty are in losses, ranging between 5.2%, which is Kotak Bank, down 5.2%, and about Axis Bank, down about 0.5%. The heaviest weighted stock, HDFC Bank, is down 3.5%. ICICI Bank is down 3%. So that's pulling the Nifty down. And tomorrow is the beginning of the quarterly exercise for earnings, starting off with Infosys and TCS. Let's see how those earnings are. Those are the cues, Sakshi, which the market will then look at. And frankly, there's not much of expectation coming in from Infosys and TCS. Both of them are also down on the FNO as far as January's expiry is concerned. So far, Infosys down 2.5%, TCS down 3.3%. It's only the automobile space which is helping the Nifty up, and to some extent FMCG and pharma. Sakshi, otherwise the tone and tenor is fairly weak. And if you remember, I had mentioned about 2-3 days ago that 21,500 is opening up on the Nifty. That's there. And now, Sakshi, some parts of the Nifty showed 21,300 on the options chain. So let's hope that does not happen. But one must be mentally ready for 21,300 on the bank Nifty in a fairly short space. Remember, tomorrow is the weekly expiry for the index, and we are sitting on T minus one, Sakshi.
Absolutely. And of course, Bank Nifty is something that we have to discuss. It's been extending the selling pressure for the third consecutive
Absolutely.
session. And, the index remained close to reclaiming that 48,000 mark in yesterday's intraday trade, but then corrected 700 points from the day's high towards the latter half. What does that really indicate for the Nifty Bank investors and traders?
So, Sakshi, as you very rightly mentioned, 3 days of selling, and this has pushed the bank Nifty to somewhere like December 21st, December 20th levels. So that's mostly a 3 week low on a bank Nifty. And as I had pointed out, there is intense pressure on banking stocks that is led by uh, HDFC Bank, led by Kotak Bank. There is a huge buildup of short positions, Sakshi, happening on these banks, and the quarterly updates of performance that came from the PSU banking outfits. Remember, they have been the showstoppers for the banking space over the last 6 months, 3 months, 1 month. They were fairly tepid, starting with Bank of Baroda, starting with Union Bank. Single digit CASA ratio growth, tepid credit growth. So that has put a lot of pressure, and you very rightly say it lost about 700 points. The high yesterday was 48,281. So that's how it is moving. And the fact is that, what's really interesting at this point of time is that everybody's awaiting earnings. And if there is a slight disappointment, even the slightest of disappointments, actually, then the slide will be uh, fairly fast.
Absolutely. In the FNO space, Shell, then which are the stocks that you will be keeping an eye out on today, if at all?
Sakshi, I think I'll wait and watch. You see, there is heavy selling pressure on news-led items. Look at how Polycap moved yesterday. And this was accompanied by a huge spurt in volume. And these are all news-led. Polycap was down 9%, and somewhere like, 2,500 crores worth of transactions were done on Polycap. Look at Z, 4,000 crores worth of sales coming in on Z, and the stock also went down by 7.1%. So these are, the kind of news items which really deter traders, retailers, first-time investors to take long positions in the market. I would just, sort of wait and watch, let the market settle, and maybe then take something on the long side. For the moment, I think apart from the Adani Group, everything is, sort of, how should I say, fairly quiet to negative. If you look at Adani Ports, Sakshi, this was the second most active trading counter in the FNO space. The futures rose 2.3%. Of course, this is a record high. And the first traded counter was Polycab. So you can well imagine how seriously news is being taken in the market, and especially news on the negative side.
Absolutely. Let's look at the global cues then. There was no clear takeaway from the global market action also overnight. The US markets also ended on a mixed note as well. We did see just about a marginal uptick coming in on the NASDAQ following a very sharp surge that we had seen in the previous trading session. So just about a 0.09% of an uptick coming in. But of course, the Dow Jones was down by about half odd percent, 0.4% of a decline for that one. S&P 500 declined by just about 0.1% lower in trade. Following this, these stocks in the Asian markets also opened mixed after the US markets really struggled to inch higher and to carry on the previous day's action on the upside. But it's the benchmark index of Japan, Nikkei, that's been extending gains after hitting its highest in more than 3 decades in the previous session. So 1.7% higher for this one. This is rather due to the investors' optimism returning to the country after its long battle with deflation as well. Now, when we talk about the indications coming in, of course, Kospi, Hang Seng and Shanghai, they were all down in trade in the early morning trading action as well. The Sensex and the Nifty may be opening marginally lower in trade today, as far as the trends on the GIFT Nifty are also indicating slightly negative start. When it comes to the flows, foreign institutional investors sold shares worth about 990 odd crore rupees, while the domestic institutional investors, they purchased stocks worth 104 crore rupees on January 9th. So that was as far as the flows are concerned. We'll keep an eye out on a slew of stocks as well today. Of course, Delta Corp, we will keep an eye out on earnings coming in. Net profit down by 59.5% in the December quarter, year on year, to about 34.5 crore rupees. Revenue was down 15.3%, so negative data over there. EBITDA down 45.5%. So clearly, operationally, the top line and bottom line, all fronts, Delta Corp disappointed with the earnings that came about. Vedanta is going to be in focus. Moody's Investor Services have downgraded the corporate family rating to CAA3 from CAA2, and that's going to be because of the very high credit risk that they are keeping an eye out on. So therefore, the outlook has been maintained as negative. There could be a negative reaction on this one on the news. Power Finance Corporation, it's got RBI's NOC for setting up finance company in International Finance Services Center, the IFSC, in the Gift City in Gujarat. That's going to be in focus. Of course, apart from this, Lupin is going to be in focus. It's got an approval from US FDA for launching, bromifenac ophthalmic solution, which is a drug that can be used by cataract patients as well. So that's some of the 4-5 stocks that I'm keeping an eye out on. Of course, the IT pack will be in focus. We will have the earnings kickstart from tomorrow. TCS, Infosys, they will all be in focus. And we will speak to our guests also to find out what they're keeping an eye out on as well. Oil prices, they steadied a bit after falling in the previous session as well. Shail, what else will be on the radar today?
So actually, I'm looking at thin trade, and I'm looking for Gaurang Shah to join us for us to throw difficult questions for him and get easy answers. Because what is the point in me saying anything when Gaurang Shah is ready? He'll be joining us shortly. And on a very personal note, I'm hoping to meet him in Mumbai. Let's see how that shapes up. But like I said, one of those resting weeks, fortnights for the market till the earnings calendar, starts with its full frenzy. I think Gaurang is with us, Senior Vice President. Geojit Financial Services joins us in a while. Milin Vasudeva will also be with us. Uh, Warm good morning to you, Gaurang. How's the mood on the Lal Street? How do you feel? Where do you see pockets of strength? Where do you see pockets of overvaluations? What's the mood on the Lal Street?
Well, now that you are in Mumbai, Shell, I think everything should be hunky dory, isn't it? Back to Mumbai, the city of dreams.
या
Morning to you
साक्षी
and
ने मेरे को मुंबई भेजा
today.
है कि जाके सब ठीक करके आओ.
Yeah.
So, Sakshi Madam ka word is our command. Morning to you, Sakshi, as well. So I think it's going to be choppy, Shell. Let's face it. I think from Monday onwards, whatever we've seen in the street, it's going to be both ways. Possibly a little bit of pressure on the downside is what even I feel. But I think a deeper correction sub 21,600, 21,500. My sense is that you should prepare your shopping list and be ready to deploy funds in the market. There are going to be data flows which are going to be having its impact on the market, both locally as well as globally. But directionally, as my good friend Sakshi was mentioning, earnings is something that I'm very excited and looking forward for. And our conclusion, Shell at Geojit, is that possibly there are going to be many more upgrades rather than downgrades post we have dissected the Q3 earnings season. So, and that will give the direction to the market, sector specific and stock specific, as we have the numbers in front of us. Crude oil sub $80, close to $77 a barrel on Brent, $72, $73 a barrel on NYMEX is good news, despite of the turbulence that we've seen in the Red Sea by the Houthi rebels. And of course, towards 83 rupee against the dollar will also give us a little bit of more comfort. And fund flows will come in, Shell. I mean, historically, January is the month where things look a little bit shaky, a little bit of disturbing. But beyond that, I think one should have a horizon. And in case if you have that, then I think it's going to be a great opportunity to buy into some stock specific ideas below the levels or close to the levels that I've mentioned on the lower side of Nifty spot share.
Fair enough. Very good morning to you, Gaurang. So now that you've set it up, that what are we expecting on the markets level, the strategies that investors should have, and of course keep some cash stashed for any kind of dips to follow. Tell us which are the top stocks that you'll be betting big on in this kind of a market.
So I'll again, I look at power, Sakshi. Honestly, I feel power sector is going to go through a major uh, upgrade as we go forward from here on, and it's only because of the policy changes that has happened. So if I have to name one particular stock in power transmission and distribution, then that's going to be Power Grid as a disclosure. Beginning this week itself, we have recommended this stock on the fundamental side in our weekly market outlook. That's the disclosure. And in the power generation, I think Tata Power. We had some news flows, I think, yesterday or day before from Tata Power in terms of some fresh deals getting through. So these two names would be the one. I think Tata Power is somewhere close to about 330 or 340. Uh, this was one of the stock that has actually held up quite smartly despite of the choppiness and volatility. So these two names, both in the power generation as well as power transmission and power grid, incidentally, Sakshi, last year there were three dividends that were doled out, amounting to total to about 15 odd rupees, 14 or 15 odd rupees in the calendar 23, and there was bonus as well. And despite of all these adjustments, X bonus, X dividend, the stock is close to its all-time high. So these are the pockets of strength that I'm looking for.
When you look at the performance of IT stocks, especially in the large cap space, Gaurang, there isn't much to cheer about. And especially the start of January hasn't been very favorable for TCS and Infosys. We have their earnings coming in tomorrow. Uh, any hopes that you have on guidance? Any signposts that you are seeing for revival? And what is the general theme in your mind when it comes to these two large players, TCS and Infosys?
So they said the atmosphere, Shell. They are the, how we call it, the weathercock of the IT industry, because these are the two names which always comes out first with the earnings, and it's a curtain raiser. Honestly speaking, Shell, I'm going with an absolute subdued expectation as far as IT sector earnings are concerned. I'll be too happy to see some of the mid cap names deliver better than the large cap, like they've done historically for the last couple of quarters. As far as TCS Infosys is concerned, I only hope that the deal pipeline is something exciting to look forward to, and the attrition rate, as we call it, the poaching, is something that is within the control and on the comfortable side as far as numbers are concerned. In terms of revenue, both dollar and INR, I will go with the least expectation, and that's a better approach. Shell. I think every time there is huge expectation from the IT pack all year round, starting from first quarter to the fourth quarter. So, and of course, given the backdrop of events, I think things are improving in US and rest of the world, and there is going to be opportunity not only in overseas market but also for the Middle East and Indian markets for IT companies. So, deal pipeline, attrition rate, and of course, the guidance towards the INR and dollar revenue. Uh, but I'm not really looking for a big bang number. I think inline should do good enough in terms of sentiments.
Okay. Gaurang, what about the mid-cap IT names? You know, stocks like Coforge, Bilrasoft, Persistent Systems, KPIT. These are the ones that have actually performed much better than the large caps. Even if the seasonality factor kicks in and the street is already penciling in a muted kind of a quarter, how should one really go about with these winning mid-cap names?
Oh, Sakshi, they have been delivering not only on the numbers front, but also when it comes to an investor's wealth. Look at levels of names like Persistent Systems, LTI Mindtree, Coforge, KPIT Tech, Tata LXI, Cyient Limited. This is the name that it's not much really spoken about, but
Yeah.
all these are great performers, and they have delivered much better returns compared to the large cap IT names. And of course, there has been a news flow also in terms of resignations from large cap names
Yes.
that has kept the sentiments a little bit up. But like I mentioned in my opening comments, that I expect the mid cap IT to do much better. In fact, my expectations, to be very honest, Sakshi, is a little bit higher than in the mid cap IT universe as far as earnings is concerned compared to the large cap IT. And I would put my money in mid cap IT.
Gorang, when you look at how the third quarter has shaped so far in terms of information that companies such as Bank of Baroda and Titan, as also a couple of FMCG players have informed exchanges, there's nothing much to talk about. Do you think we are at the throes of a disappointment when it comes to the overall performance of third quarter earnings? The markets having been run up very, very sharply in November and December. And all that data you see in terms of industrial production, in terms of purchasing managers index and all, uh, coming at fairly, fairly lower levels.
So, Shail, from FMCG pack, because of erratic monsoon, the demand or the volume growth from semi-urban and rural India is going to be a little bit on the lower side, but that is catching up. If you actually go to see the verbatim that's been given by the FMCG management, and I think it'll be interesting to listen into that management commentary post the Q3 numbers as far as demand outlook is concerned from tier 2, tier 3 cities, lower end, and of course semi-urban and rural India. So, and input cost was an issue that squeezed the profit margins, but now that's done and dusted. It's history. And my sense is that the operating efficiencies put in place should improve the net profit margins as far as FMCGs are concerned. As far as discretionary spend like Titan, you mentioned, well, honestly, Shell, यू नो हमारे हिंदुस्तान में आप शायद एक मुट्ठी चावल कम खाएंगे लेकिन सोने में आप निवेश बिल्कुल करेंगे ये एक विचारधारा है मानसिकता है एंड आई बिलीव gold prices itself my expectation for the calendar year 24 Jan to December I think we should see gold somewhere close to about 65,000 if I am not mistaken or not wrong on my assumption by December 24. So that will have an added advantage to companies like Titan in the gems and jewelry segment. And not to forget, Titan is one company which has got other businesses as well, which is contribution to the balance sheet.
Mileen is just going to be joining us, but I want to kickstart the discussion on auto even before he joins in. And Bajaj Auto is the company that I'm going to be talking about first, because Gaurang, of course, the big bang news is out, 10,000 rupees, per share kind of a buyback, 4,000 odd crore rupees. Ticket size is big. Even the 43% premium was big. But despite that, the stock just ended up just about 2% higher in trade. Why was that?
So I think Sakshi 2% is a very small number. So in effect, अगर साक्षी आपके पास बजाज ऑटो के 100 शेयर है तो 2 शेयर लिए जाएंगे अगर आप बायबैक में देते हैं तो और बाकी के 98 शेयर्स आपके डीमैट खाते में रहेंगे so and honestly Sakshi I have never recommended fundamentally strong companies in the large cap universe when it comes to buyback to investors from a long term point of view to entertain and why on earth would Bajaj Auto's management buy back Bajaj Auto shares at 10,000 rupees when the market is at about 7,100 rupees. Tell me one thing. I mean, that's because, and I always say this, that the management knows exactly what the value of their share is. So, for the love of God, if you bought only from the buyback perspective, which is, I feel would be stupidity because only 2 shares will get tendered given the kind of percentage and the buyback value. Uh, don't tender good companies in your portfolio in the buyback just because they give you a little bit higher premium compared to the cash market price. The stock is worth much more. In fact, I would hold on to it dearly. And in case if there is any correction because of the news come and dusted, like they say, sell on rumors and buy on news, sell on rumors, buy on news, whatever it is. In case if the stock has to correct a little bit, I would definitely advise to go and park your funds from a long-term point of view in Bajaj Auto.
Okay, park your funds for a long term in Bajaj Auto. The stock is worth much more, 10,000 rupees. A very, very high conviction coming in from Gaurang over there. I would love to take Million's view, but before that, we'll take just a 30-second break. We'll come back, we'll talk about the pre-opening action, and we'll get back to the auto discussion. Stay with us.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back on Market Today. This is the pre-open trades that are clicking in front of you. Nifty at the moment weaker by 32 points, 21,513. Remember, it's the battle for 21,500 that will be fought on T-1. We are on Wednesday and tomorrow is the weekly expiry as far as the Nifty is concerned. It's the weekly expiry for Bank Nifty today. Let's see how it shapes up. Yesterday was not exactly one of those best days for Bank Nifty. Now let's focus on what the markets are telling us. Within the F&O space, Adani Ports is opening 4.5% higher at 1249. Remember, this is a record high. Ever since the clean chit, the almost clean chit that the group has got from the Supreme Court during last week, the previous week, there's been a very sharp momentum on Adani Ports. Okay. What else is moving? Cipla 2% higher, 1307. M&M 2% higher, 1661. Lupin 1.8% higher, 1442. Let's look at within the Nifty, what kind of performance it's coming. HCL Tech 2.4% higher, 1496. I want to see what TCS is doing. Flat 3690. How about Infosys 0.6% higher, 1538. What are the losers on the Nifty? Okay, a bit of a pain in Hero Motors, but this will subside. This is also a stock which is at a record high, 3.75% lower, 3958. Bit of a profit booking happening on L&T, 1.5% lower, 3501. The Nifty now 50 points lower, 21,506. A very, very quick view on NSE 500. Very bad earnings by Delta. The stock is down 7%. It's the top loser in Nifty 500, 140.1. Sakshi had alluded to the earnings. Among the top gainers, you have, Chota Packet Bada Dhamaka, I always say. Alok Industries, 5% higher, 3890. Prestige Real Estates, 3.3% higher, 1380. We'll wait for these prices to settle. The Nifty now flattening out completely, 15 points lower, 21,528. We are still waiting for Milleen to join us and complete the quorum. But to you, Gaurang, anything out of the ordinary apart from the PSU and the railway pack that you are looking in the momentum space?
Autos,
Yes.
my guess, Shail, as Sakshi has alluded to, though, Million is just to join the forum, but let me just set the stage. I think there is one company which is into manufacturing pure EV commercial vehicles, that is Electra Green Tech. They have received some decent orders as far as state transport is concerned. And my guess is that orders from even otherwise private sector as well as schools for their buses, etc., is going to keep the order book quite strong and healthy. along with the order book, I think the company management guided towards about week or 10 days back. They are looking at they were already invested in R&D with respect to short charge time and long play time. And if that materializes, I think that's going to be great achievement. So Electra Green Tech, not a really spoken about name in the automobile universe, but this is one company that we have our eyes set on, and I think fundamentally also we have a buy coverage on Electra Green Tech.
Welcome Milin Vasudev, Senior Technical Research Analyst, Arihant Capital Markets, also now with us. As a trio, welcome and good morning to you, Milin. Good to have you with us again. And all three of you in Mumbai, are you going to be taking a ride on your favorite bikes in Mumbai together?
Good morning. Now let's see whether Gaurang and Shail is going to join me at Nariman Point. So I'm waiting there at 6 o'clock. So this is my invitation to them with my Royal Enfield. Here, Sakshi, coming to Nifty, yes, Nifty is showing some kind of a distribution. Now, even if you see the RSI is making a lower low, and this creates that there is some distribution in Nifty. Now, the really make or break level for Nifty is 21,450. If that level is being broken, then yes, we could see some kind of a correction, which could lead Nifty towards say 21,300, 21,200 levels. But at present, yes, yesterday was an inside day. So let's see in first 15 minutes how Nifty behave. But overall, if Nifty holds 21,400 levels, then there is a fair chance again that Nifty would retest the prior high also.
Okay. What about the stock picks that you would go with today?
See, there are two stocks which I would like to recommend is even the telecom sector as well as the pharma sector is looking good, and one can buy Davis Lab at current level 3984. The stop loss would be 3900 and target would be 4144 levels. We are of the opinion that we have come out with small report that Davis Lab is likely to head towards 4500 levels. So for long-term investor, one can accumulate at lower levels also. The second stock is Bharti Airtel, currently trading at 1064 levels. Stop loss is 1030 and target would be 1150 in couple of days time.
First, Bharti as well as Divi's Lab from Milin's staple of stock picks. Milin, let's just analyze sentiment on Dalal Street for the moment. Nifty is unable to hold on to gains as far as initial opening thoughts are seen in the markets. And the losses are not accompanied by a spurt in volume. You have, the likes of Kotak a couple of days being the top traded counter. The good thing is that this slip that we are seeing on prices is not accompanied by ferocious selling. Is this something that you are noticing as well?
Yes, Shell, you have noticed rightly about it. And even if you see the breadth of the market, yesterday even the market had fallen quite a bit, but the breadth of the market was still holding on the positive side. So this says that the sentiments are still positive. So at lower levels, there is chance that again Nifty would start seeing some buying at lower levels. And even the result seasons are going to kick. So let's see how it plans out.
Okay, this is the view as far as the broader markets are concerned. A lot of pain being seen in private sector banks, Milin, Kotak especially, accompanied by fairly decent volumes when it comes to the selling pressure. What's your prognosis on Kotak?
If you see, Bank Nifty has already broken the 20-day moving average line and is showing a lot of weakness. Now, even if you see Kotak, Kotak has started trading below the 200-day moving average line, which is at 1826 levels. Now, today we will open at the lower levels. But again, at 1800, there is a lot of strong demand where some reversal could be possible. So going short at current level would not be advisable.
Okay, sure. So the markets are settling in the pre-opening trade, and the Nifty is at 21,529, lower by about 15 odd points. But it's the Nifty Bank that, let me just check, 0.3% lower at 47,073. It's almost 150 points lower in trade. So it's the Bank Nifty that continues to slide down, 168 points right now down in trade. It's going to be another day, perhaps, when we are going to be seeing some pain point coming in. PSU banks, private banks, financial services all showing signs of decline even as we hit pre-open for the second day in a row. Today, let's look at some of the stocks on the Nifty pack. It's Adani Ports that tops the charts in the pre-opening trade, almost a 2% uptick for this one. HCL Tech about 1% higher. M&M comes almost close, 0.9% uptick in trade. Asian Paints, Cipla, Sun Pharma, these are the other two counters. Turns out to be probably a pharma day. You're looking at the Nifty Healthcare Index as topping the charts, although with minor gains, 0.3% odd coming in for that one. Autos follow next, and of course the broader market, some ticks in the green that you can see, and slight uptick even in the IT space as well. It's the Nifty 500 basket that could be more interesting to look at again today. It's Cochin Shipyard, Adani Ports, Amber Enterprises, Alok Industries, some of these stocks that may continue to see upside as well. Milin, tell us from the broader universe, where are you keeping an eye out on the mid and the small caps? Are there still some interesting stocks that one can continue to tap?
See, in pharma sector only, I'm keeping a close watch. If you see Zydus Life also, Zydus Life is one stock which has not fallen. If we see, there is a weakness in Nifty as well as Bank Nifty, but check Zydus Life. Zydus Life is just trading sideways. So we are of the opinion that it has got a good support at around, say, somewhere around 700, 680 levels. One can accumulate at current levels. On the higher side, we are expecting Zydus Life to test 750 to 775 in a couple of weeks' time.
Okay, let's drill this a little more. All of last week, Gaurang, we saw some bit of momentum creeping back into ITC. 470, 478, 480. But again, the stock fell back to 465, 460 kinds. Do you see some kind of, momentum creeping back into ITC after that large transaction that's happened on smaller peer VST industry?
I guess so, Shail. And I think whenever these kind of large transactions get executed, there is a period of a little bit of brief consolidation. But overall, my sense is that we should see the momentum gather. And in fact, on the earnings front, I think this particular company has been delivering and doing fairly good, and sometimes even better than what the street estimates are. So my sense is that you should see some amount of recovery coming through.
Okay. Sakshi, we'll keep an eye out on railway stocks. There's just news coming in. Railtel has won a small order, 29 crores. Let's see how it's shaped up in pre-open trade, 0.5% higher, so 351.05. To you, Milin, we've seen two new defense stocks creep up on traders' radar, Bharat Dynamics and, of course, Bharat Earth Movers Limited. What are the charts telling you for these two?
See, coming to Bharat Dynamics, yes, Bharat Dynamics is making a rounding base pattern again on the daily chart, which clearly shows that there is a good accumulation going in this stock. One can keep a stop loss of, say, 1700 levels. We are working out with the levels of 1900 in Bharat Dynamics. The second stock, which you said, BML, right?
Yes.
Yeah, BML. Now, BML also is showing a higher top, higher bottom formation on the daily chart. Clearly, the momentum indicators are still positively poised. It might correct a little bit by say 50 or 100 points, but at lower levels, it has got good support. And on the higher side, it has got a good resistance at somewhere around 3,200 to 3,300 level. Once that level is being crossed, you could see good momentum, which could lead this stock to go and test the levels of 3,450 and 3,500 levels.
Okay, Gaurang, I wanted to take the healthcare question with you. Of course, Milin has given us two of his picks in the pharma space. The Nifty healthcare looks positive even today, with stocks like Cipla, Sun Pharma positively opening as far as the indications from the pre-market go. But your sense of how would you approach the mainstream names, the bellwether names of the pharma pack versus some of the lower stocks like mid and the small cap stocks in the space?
So if your question is pertaining towards the mid cap pharma universe, then our sense is that maybe something like Alembic Pharmaceuticals, uh, Aurobindo Pharma, Netco Pharma, Zydus Life Science is something that's been on the radar for quite some time. And along with pharma, Sakshi, I think hospitals, healthcare related, both Apollo as well as Narayan Budalaya, they should also be in focus.
I think pharma is one of those sectors that offers a crisis of plenty when it comes to stock. But ladies and gentlemen, the markets have opened and it's a mild red tick on the Nifty 21,532 for you, down 10 points on the index. The Nifty Bank opening 0.26 lower, 4,713. And the IT index is in the green. Now let's look at what the heavyweights are telling us. As to what the sentiment is. Okay, we'll start with TCS today because this is a day ahead of earnings, 0.6% higher, 37.13. How about Infosys? 0.2% higher, 15.33. Now let's look at HDFC Bank, 0.5% lower, 16.42. How about Reliance? Flat to negative, 25.80. So there isn't much to talk about the index as far as index heavyweights are concerned. Only Infosys is in the green in the first three. How about ICICI Bank? Okay, flat to negative 978. His Axis Bank doing 11.12. Again, 0.4% lower. This is as far as the index heavyweights are concerned, mostly mixed, uh, down towards the negative side. A quick look at the FNO space minus index heavyweights. Uh, let's look at, I wish to see what Delta is doing. Very bad earnings, 4% lower, 144.90. How about the most active traded counters in terms of green? A bit of a bounce back happening on Polycap, 2.9% higher. Remember, this was the top loser in the FNO space yesterday, 5,008 for you. Ditto for Z, 1.6% higher, 260.35. Let's see whether these gains hold or not. Uh, Adani Ports has climbed into another uh, fresh orbit, 1207, 0.8% higher. Tata Power, this is something that Gorang had alluded to, 2% higher, 347. We have HCL Tech, 1479, 1.3% higher. Let's look at some losers here. Delta, Manappuram Finance, profit booking on ONGC. There's a downgrade coming on in Indraprasth Gas, 2% lower, 420.1. Okay, how about NSE 500? Let's watch the top gainers here. Cochin Shipyard. Okay, this is a stock split that has happened. 3.6% higher, 692. This will make the counter affordable for the retail space. What you're seeing is a bonus adjustment on the screen, but after that adjustment, the counter is actually up 3.8%. So this price is not giving the correct value. National Aluminium, 4% higher, 132.95. Hotel stocks are doing pretty well. Chalet Hotels, 743, 2.65% higher. Let's look at what the broader markets are telling us, and then we'll get to Milleen. Okay, out of the 19 indices that we track for you, 5 are down. The top gaining index is the Pharma Index, 0.6% higher, 17,543. And within the pharma space, we are looking at Divi's. That's a pick that Milleen had suggested. Let's look at what Divi's is doing. At the moment, 4,013, 0.7% higher. The top gainer in this space is Glaxo, 2% higher, 21.25. To you, Milleen, anything that catches the fancy so far a fairly tepid opening on the major indices. Bank Nifty in the red. I Okay, Million Bhai is no longer logged in. Let's just see when we can get him back. Gaurang, anything that catches your fancy in the pre-open trades?
Million was referring to the telecom pack, so that should come into focus. Both, I think, and I'm not talking about Vodafone Idea, to be very honest. I'm talking about Reliance Industries because of Jio and of course Bharti Airtel. Uh, I think that should be in the on the focus primarily because of the kind of positivities that one expects from the number to come through, and maybe a little bit of oil and gas, uh, purely because of crude oil sub $80, like I mentioned in my opening statements, and of course the natural gas prices, which has been a little bit on the lower level. So you have companies like Indraprastha Gas, Mahanagar Gas, Gujarat Gas, etc., coming into focus. So possibly you might see some kind of attraction coming in over here.
Yes, Milin, look at the opening and tell us, what is the one or two stock that perhaps are catching your fancy at this point?
See, my friend Gaurang had rightly pointed about Olectra. Yes, Olectra
Olectra.
is the one stock which really is looking very strong on the charts. And at present, it is currently trading at 1596 levels. One can keep a stop loss of, say, 1550 also. On the higher side, you could expect the levels of, say, 1650 to 1700 levels. So this is a stock which is showing strong strength on the both monthly as well as on the weekly chart. So one has to trade with positive bias in Electra.
This is something that's been running up over the last 3-4 trading sessions, and it was an order win. And before that, this was the government's initiative, which was reported in some media reports that 8 lakh buses running on diesel might be converted to electric or replaced with electric commercial vehicles. Let's just drill a little deeper. There is Cochin Shipyard now 6.5% higher, 710. Milene, would you stick your neck out here now that theoretically the stock has become cheaper after the split?
See, currently the stock is still maintaining its higher top, higher bottom formation now. Currently, it is showing a consolidation breakout at current levels, and you could expect this stock to test the levels of, say, somewhere around 1 second, around 740 to 750 in today's trading session.
Okay. Let's look at a few more stocks. Gaurang, I wanted to take your view on the life insurance space as well. You know, HDFC Life, SBI Life, they're coming back in flavor. Even LIC did some momentum buying, did see some momentum buying over there. Would you be positively looking at this entire space from a medium to long-term perspective?
I would, in fact, Sakshi, I think the reaction on life insurance company was purely on fallback of the data that we saw coming out. And we have fundamental coverage on all four life insurance related companies, LIC, SBI Life, I say through HDFC Life. And my sense is that in the next 1.5 to 2 years, the run rate as far as new premiums collection is concerned is going to be significantly higher. So we are extremely positive on this space. And this is also one of the sectors which has not really performed compared to the market or other sectors.
Okay. Gaurang, you were marking out Tata Power before the markets had opened, and it's now buzzing in the FNO space, 353 odd levels being seen in the FNO action, 1.7% higher in trade. Your sense of how should one be really positioned here? Is this a fresh opportunity for investors to buy into Tata Power from a long-term perspective? And then I'll take Million's view also on Tata Power on the technicals.
Well, Sakshi, I think it's very close to its 52-week high, if I'm not mistaken. And my sense is that 380 could be a medium term target on Tata Power. Uh, for 45, 450 could be a little bit longish kind of a time horizon. And I would like to add one more thing, which my good friend Shell had asked my good friend uh, Milin about Cochin Shipyard. स्प्लिट हुआ है लेकिन मेरे ख्याल से 1400 के ऊपर का आई थिंक करंट बिफोर स्प्लिट इफ यू सी somewhere close to about 710 Cochin shipyard. I would not hesitate to say that it's a screaming buy according to me. Yeah.
Wow.
क्या बात है? Okay. Uh, Gaurang, let's drill this a little deeper. We've seen a similar kind of a situation happening on Hindustan Aeronautics. Post the split, the stock has again reclaimed its pre-split levels and perhaps headed even higher. When you look at Cochin Shipyard at about 700 odd, what is the kind of sense that you get, say, for a medium-term target?
Shell, I would not hesitate somewhere close to about 850 to 900. But don't look at short to medium term as far as different companies are concerned, Shell. Uh, HL for incidents, if you look at before the split value at current levels, it would be somewhere close to about 6,000 rupees. Uh, it's right now at somewhere close to about 3,000. And post split, I think levels were about 1,200, 1,300. And then the stock has risen to these levels. So I'm extremely positive as far as the entire defense pack is concerned. Be it HCL, Bharat Dynamics, Cochin Shipyard, Mazgaon Docks, BHEL, BEML, BEL, and even some of the private players. And Cochin Shipyard, I would be looking at 850 kind of targets from the medium term point.
Okay. Milene, what about you from the defense pack? Your top favorite stock?
See, my favorite stock, just now I had commented on BDL. Even I'm positive on HAL also. Currently, it is trading at 2991 levels. We can expect the move to go towards say 3,100 to 3,200 levels. So one can accumulate at lower levels also.
Okay. And earlier I wanted to ask your view on Tata Power. What is the technical level that you're seeing now on the charts for Tata Power?
See, Tata Power has already gone up, and now the risk-reward ratio currently is not over here. So, but still, if aggressive traders want to buy this stock, can keep a stop loss of say 300 and say 20 levels. On the higher side, there is a stiff resistance at see all-time high, that is 350 levels. When that level is being crossed, you could see Tata Power's heading towards say 360 and 380 levels.
Okay. There is something, Sakshi, really interesting that I'd like to mark on Cochin Shipyard. Of course, this is the second top gainer on NSE 500 post the split. What's really interesting, Sakshi, is the free float. Barely any. Out of the total market capitalization of somewhere like 18,670 crores, only 5,000 crores is, how should I say, the free float. Something that, traders, retailers, HNIs, ultra HNIs have to deal with on a regular basis. And at the same time, let's just see how much has been traded so far. So out of 5,000 crore rupees, which is the free float, 150 crores worth of Cochin Shipyard has been traded in the first 11, 12 minutes of trade. So what basically happens is that the moment you see low free float, it's something that attracts traders on the long side, because it can be really, really, uh, uh, how should I say, pulled up with less effort. At the moment now, 165 crores worth of trades happening on Cochin Shipyard, the counter up somewhere like 4.5%, 6.5%. The upper circuit is very far away, 802. लेकिन उम्मीद रखने में क्या लगता है, कोई टैक्स तो देना नहीं पड़ता. but fairly strong momentum post the stock split on the first day on Cochin Shipyard. Sakshi, what are you watching? 21,481 on the Nifty, 500 is with the bears. The index is down 60 points. The IT index has also reversed, now down 32 points, 34,627. So selling is now apparent after the first 15 minutes have lapsed. Sakshi.
Shell, Nika, interestingly, has inched higher to a year's high level right now, 192 odd levels from the last 4-5 odd trading sessions. It has been constantly showing an upward momentum after the, business updates were posted by the company. Gaurang, do you see any promise on Nika after the business updates, or is this still a no-go area?
Well, Sakshi, FSN e-commerce, there was a big bang listing, and then it had all popped out. It was like a soda bottle. When you open it, the fizz just rushes out of the top, and then kind of fizzles out. It was a dumb squib, but at lower levels we had recommended a buy, and I think the stock has already crossed the targets that we had in mind, or maybe somewhere close to about that. I would be very keenly looking out for the earnings front, because you have to have a decent, steady earnings to support your fundamental call. If the earnings are choppy, one quarter up, next quarter down, then that leads to a little bit of choppiness, uncomfortable situation. So if you have got old investments in FNS e-commerce, Nike, you can continue to hold on to it. But I hope the earnings stand up to it.
Okay. I know that we have to thank you, Gaurang, and you have to be, busy somewhere else as well. But before you go, one more thought on the auto space. I've already discussed, I already know that all three of you are big fans of Royal Enfield. But in the four-wheeler space, are you big fans of Tata Motors cars? Because the stock has had a stupendous run. I mean, is there a Tata Harrier or a Nexon on your top list as well?
Well, I hope you own a Jaguar Land Rover, Sakshi.
Yes, of course.
I will add to the sales numbers of Tata Motors.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we love the stock at 250, 300 rupees. And at 800, I think I would very dearly hang on to it, to be very honest. And my sense is that, and I think yesterday or day before, some brokerage had revised the target prices to about 850 or 890, if I'm not mistaken. My target is about 1000 plus now, given the kind of numbers that we are expecting both on the domestic market as well as JLR. Commercial vehicle is also going to do well. Debt net zero on the balance sheet should also re-rate the stock. And I would also like to recommend one more stock, which is not in the four-wheeler space, but in the six-wheeler space. I'm talking about commercial vehicle. I've already spoken about Electra Green Tech, but Ashok Leyland, I think 170, 180 or thereabouts current stock price, 225, 240 should be the kind of levels to look out for Ashok Leyland.
Okay. Milleen, what about your view? Four-wheeler space in the auto space and Tata Motors, of course.
Definitely, I go with Gaurang and Tata Motor from current levels also, it can move by 15-20%. So one should trade with positive bias in Tata Motor also. One can accumulate over here also.
Okay. What we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a very, very quick break. And on the other side of that break, Milleen will give us a view on Tata Motors versus Ashok Leyland. Remember, Tata Motors was the top performing Nifty stock in 2023, up 98%. And the one-year gain on Ashok Leyland is just 16%. A bit of a catch-up as far as Ashok is concerned, but that's after.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back on Market Today. It's 9:35, and we have the first 20 minutes of trade as far as the broader markets are concerned. The Nifty absolutely flat, 21,528 in front of you. The Nifty Bank and the IT index have come back into gains. So it's a volatile period as far as the first half an hour is concerned. And let's look at stocks that have made fresh highs. Electra Green Tech, commercial electric vehicle maker, now screaming ahead at an all-time high, 6% higher, 1631. Remember, this is the third day of consecutive gains that you are seeing on Electra Green Tech, and the auto space, apart from Electra, is also buzzing with fairly strong gains on the two-wheeler side. What else is hitting record highs? Sakshi, it's the sentiment is controlled by pharma on the defensive side. So Glaxo is up 6%. A fresh record high of 2214, coming back on the back of a fairly decent volumes, 127,000 shares traded on Glaxo. Remember, this is not a high beta counter. We rarely discuss it, but if you look at how Glaxo has moved over the last 7, 8, 10 trading sessions, it's almost added about 700 rupees to its tally of 2200. Then we have Cipla 1303, 1% higher. Sun Pharma 1323, at the moment flat, but these are the stocks within the pharma space that are hitting fresh highs. And Sakshi, Trent, remember the stock declared fabulous first quarter earnings at about 1700 rupees, and within a space of 6 months the counter is now at 3150. Single one-sided momentum on Trent, today up 1.2%, fairly decent volumes at a four-digit level, and that too in the 3,000 rupee range. You get about 81,000 shares traded so far in the first 15, 17 minutes of trade. Sakshi, the fact that a lot of pharma counters are showing record highs basically points to the defensive nature of the market. There is heavy profit booking happening across the high beta, low ticket PSU space, and that money is now moving into defensive counters. What are you watching?
Well, Nalco is one stock that's buzzing very strongly in the F&O space, Shell. So I was just looking at that one at 134 rupees, about a 6% uptick that I can see over there. Milleen, how would you look at Nalco? Very strong move over the last 1 month amid the metal momentum that we saw, and about a 35% surge is what we've already seen. The ticket size is fairly attractive even at 132. Would you advise investors to go ahead and buy this one for a short to medium term, or maybe even long term?
If you see the metal pack also, if you metal index also, metal index is clearly in a higher top, higher bottom formation. Similarly, Nalco is showing sign of strength, and clearly some accumulations at lower level is there. There is a strong demand zone in the range of 120 to 118 levels. Now today it has opened up with a gap, and this clearly reflects that the sentiments are positive in this stock. Currently trading at 132. One can keep a stop loss of 124 on the higher side. It has got a resistance at say somewhere around 140 levels. Once that level is being crossed, you could expect Nalco to test the levels of 150 to 160 levels.
Okay. Well, if you look at the market breadth, it's turning negative now. Apart from, say, slight gains that are coming in sectorally just on consumer durables, healthcare, and slight upticks on the IT pack, rest of the sectors have all slipped into the red. Of course, led by oil and gas today, 1.5% lower in trade. Realty stocks 1% lower. Metals losing their shine as well. And when we talk about the broader markets, they've slipped into the red too. Among the Nifty stocks, which are the ones that are creating pressure, of course, it's the oil and gas stocks like BPCL Oil and Gas, which are the oil and natural gas, which are the top two losers on the Nifty pack. You also have Coal India, NTPC, Power Grid, the power majors that are coming under pressure. Then you also have Bajaj, Finserv, Axis Bank, as some of the heavyweight counters that are not participating. Infosys is also down in trade as well. On the flip side, it's the pharma pack, the life insurance counters, slight uptick that can be seen in the consumer durable space like Titan or maybe Tata Consumer Products, those kind of stocks that are inching up higher in trade right now. Shell, what else is catching your fancy?
Sakshi, I'll just make an interesting observation. I'll point out to the disinterest that there is in the market. Remember, the first half hour, the first 1 hour, the first 70 odd minutes of trade are the most hectic for all of us. But you'll be surprised to note that the top traded stock future is Polycap. The second top traded future is Tata Power. And then you have the likes of HDFC Bank, fairly tepid response there. Then you have, surprise, surprise, Nestle, uh, almost 5,000 contracts traded here. The stock's up about 18 rupees. And then you have RECL profit booking. You have, Z, which is undergoing some corporate pains. And then, of course, Infosys. So, uh, Reliance is not even in the first 7, 8 most active traded futures. And that basically shows the level of how should I say, very tepid kind of a market. People are just waiting for earnings. And that's going to kickstart tomorrow, which is from TCS and Infosys respectively. And only then momentum will creep back in. Milin, to you, Arihant Securities comes out with a fairly detailed assessment of how uh, earnings are likely to pan out in any quarter. How is the third quarter looking to you in terms of outperformers, sectorally or stock wise, which you would want to bet on based on potential earnings?
See, purely on technical basis, I would say that Pharma Pack is one which is likely to give good results. Second is I'm interested in Reality Pack, then metal and cements. So these are the stocks. These sectors are looking promising, which could give good results and which could really lift the sentiments going forward.
Okay. In the consumer durable space, I can look at Voltas that's moving up in trade. In the F&O space also, 1036, 2.3% higher in trade. Merit for the traders to take a bet in Voltas, Milin?
See, on the hourly chart, clearly it has shown good volume pickup and currently trading at somewhere around, say, 1016 levels. Yes, one can initiate a long with 990 as a stop loss. And on the higher side, in today's trading session, there is a possibility that this stock is likely to test the levels of 1030, levels going forward.
Okay, fair enough. Of course, and on Z also, Milin, if you could give us your view, it's rebounded from the sharp fall yesterday, 2.5% higher in trade. There was some clarification coming in from the group on rejecting the reports that suggested there could be, a calling off of the deal of Sony Z merger. How would you look at purely from a trading perspective, Z Entertainment?
See, yesterday it has shaken out everybody. Actually, everybody was very positive on this stock at the levels of, say, 200 and 260, 270 levels. But then yesterday, a gap down has really shaken out everybody. And it took a support at around, say, 234 levels. And then it gave a rebound. So my take is that that this stock is likely to now test the gap level of, say, somewhere around uh, 270, 265 to 270 levels. So I feel that really a gap could be tested in this stock. At present, there is no trade setup, but yes, it can test the downward gap area.
Okay.
Sakshi, I think Jan 22nd is the day when there'll be more clarity emerging between how should I say, uh, two parties in this merger, which has been so widely reported. Let's see what happens. But yes, yesterday's sell-off was on a volume of 4,000 crores, and it's a bit of a bounce back that's happening. Whether it'll continue or not, only time will tell. But for the moment, extreme disinterest as far as broader markets are concerned. Little or no volumes to speak of when it comes to frontline counters within the index heavyweight space. Sakshi, if you look at the top traded counters so far in the first half an hour of trade, the first three are not from the Nifty. So it's Polycap, 571 crores in the green, Olectra, 450 crores, 6% high, record high. Z Entertainment, of course, news led a sharp bout of short covering after yesterday's very heavy sell off, 2.8% higher, 263, about 370 crores worth of transactions. Tata Power, Cochin Shipyard, Adani Ports. Then you come to Adani Ports and HDFC Bank and Adani Enterprises. The good part, Sakshi, what I can think of after seeing such data is that the first 10 most active traded counters in terms of volume, all 10 are showing decent gains. So that's the silver lining. If you sort of avoid or keep the PSU basket, which is under intense selling pressure, intense profit booking at an arm's length. Sakshi.
Okay. Milene, interestingly, I wanted to just take this entire tour, travels, hotel space with you. Of course, it got, into fresh momentum amid the Maldives, Lakshadweep, controversy as well. We did see Ease My Trip planners really rallying over the last three or four trading sessions. It's, I think, mildly negative today when I was earlier checking. Then the entire hotel space today, Chalet Hotels is in focus, about 2.5% higher. Lemon Tree Hotels was clearly widely discussed with a lot of analysts over the last week, 10 days as well. IHCL. How would you really look at this entire space and any particular stocks that catch your fancy at this point in time? Lemon Tree is even up today, 2.5% higher.
See, clearly, Sakshi, yes, Lemon Tree is the stock which we had earlier also recommended in our organization. And still, if you see for last 5 days, it consolidated its previous gain, currently trading at 133 levels. But yes, this stock is clearly showing some rounding base pattern breakout on the weekly chart, and which suggests clearly that the momentum on the upside is likely to continue in this stock. Initially, we are working out with the targets of say 145 to 152 level in this stock.
Okay. Let's look at the other favorite stocks, favorite set of stocks that I always talk about. The cement pack. JK Cement is again slightly up in trade, about 4,035 odd in trade right now. From the cement pack, Milene, which is your top stock that you are betting big on? Is it the large caps like Ultratech Cement that still make for a good long-term bet? Or should one really go ahead and look at the mid-cap cement basket for the buzz that we are seeing in this space?
See, we are very positive on Ultratech Cement. Currently, no doubt, for last six trading session, it is making a lower lows. But clearly, at current levels, it is if there is any reversal in Ultratech, we are likely to recommend Ultratech because we are working with the targets of somewhere around 10,500, 11,000 levels in couple of months' time.
Okay. Again, let's look at the market breadth. Remember, the first half hour of trade is over, and primarily the markets are slipping uh, pretty much lower. When we had started this conversation, about 15 indices out of the 19 that we track were in the green. Now the tables have turned. only three indices are in the green: the pharma, the media index, and the IT index. And you are seeing sustained profit booking or selling pressure, call it what you may, on uh, across the board. So realty index is down about 1.4, 1.2%. The energy index is down about 0.5%. PSU banking index is down 0.5%. Losses, even though they are minor, you can see that profit booking is happening across the board. And the markets, they await a sense of direction from quarterly earnings that will be coming from tomorrow onwards, starting with TCS and Infosys. Of course, whatever updates medium-sized, large-sized companies have provided the exchanges to shareholders haven't been all that enthusiastic, especially from the FMCG pack, Marico, Godrej Consumer, both of them showing a single low digit uptick that's not been appreciated by the market. That could be blamed on the bad monsoon. Mid-sized PSU banks such as Bank of Baroda and Union Bank haven't also come up shining in terms of CASA ratio growth, as also growth in credit dispersal. So all that is reflecting on how markets are behaving ahead of earnings, and of course after the stunning rally that we had seen in uh, November and December. Sakshi.
Right. Mileen, from the IT pack, which are the top bellwether companies you are going to be betting big on amidst the earnings season, or are they not on your list?
See, among the IT pack, yes, TCS is the one which has shown good momentum from the lower side, and then currently it is trading sideways, and we have a result day after tomorrow. So, at present, we would concentrate on the large cap names like TCS and Infosys only. We are positive on both these stocks.
Okay. Right. So TCS and Infosys clearly the preferred stocks among the big bellwether IT names as well. Let's look at a few more stocks and see if there is any buzzing action in the broader market space. Uh, of course, we are looking at a lot of momentum in the fertilizer and chemical space also, Mileen. We have discussed this space even before. I think you had picked out Deepak Nitrite for us the last time we had been in discussion. Is there any other stock that is on your list from the fertilizers and the chemicals pack that now warrants attention of investors?
See, if you see, fact is also trading sideways now in the range of say somewhere around 815 to 800 on the lower side. So one should keep a close watch on fact also. On the higher side, fact has got a resistance at somewhere around 830 levels. Once that level is being crossed, you could see some buying interest coming in fact, which could take the counter towards say somewhere around 900 levels.
Okay. So Nifty is now turning absolutely flat, 21,544, lackluster trade clearly on the screen, but some green ticks coming in. Mileen, do they give you any confidence of markets, of course, doing better than the first half in the second half today?
See, yeah. I would say that if you check the hourly chart and the hourly chart, we have made a fresh low in the hourly chart, but the momentum indicator RSI is not showing any kind of a downward momentum. So this shows that there could be some bounce back in the latter half of the session. So one has to be very careful. The stop loss would be somewhere around for spot Nifty, it would be around 21,431 levels because it is holding that level quite and today it made a low of 21,449 and from there it has reversed. So my stop loss would be 21,431. On the higher side, yes, it could test the levels of 21,629, 21,650 levels on the higher side in the afternoon session.
Right, Mileen, Nifty Bank is also turning into the green, and now I can see some buying happening at the lower levels for financial services and the private banks at least. How would you look at the Nifty Bank?
Nifty Bank, I would not say that there could be a bounce back, but then again, since Bank Nifty has broken the 20-day moving average line, we are not positive on Bank Nifty. At higher levels, we are going to see some kind of a selling pressure.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's hope the second half of the day is a little more enthusiastic than the first 45 minutes of trade that we've seen. Unbelievable numbers. The Nifty up 6%, the Bank Nifty breathing 32 points higher. Let's just take a detour across the markets before we wrap up the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, 16 out of 19 indices are in the red. The advanced decline ratio for the moment favors bears. 1131 shares on the National Stock Exchange are in the red compared with 952 in the green. There is very, very little activity in terms of volumes, although the first 10 stocks that I look at in terms of maximum traded are in the green. That's a cause of great comfort at a time when markets are extremely sluggish and looking at a sense of directions. You have individual news driven items such as Polycab, Electra Green, Z Telefilm, Startup are occupying traders' interest. There is heavy to very heavy profit booking seen in high beta, low ticket items within the PSU space. NMDC is down 2%, RECL is down 2.6%, ONGC is shedding 2.5%, NIACL down 1.76%, PFC at 387 is 1.6% low. Across the board, you are seeing fairly strong profit booking happening within the space. And it's only the pharma sector that's holding up. Record highs seen on Sun Pharma and Cipla as far as the index heavyweights are concerned, and Glaxo as far as pharma MNCs are concerned. A fairly light day as far as the index is concerned, Sakshi.
Absolutely, Shail, but I think I know one reason why the markets are actually not enthusiastic, because our friends in Gujarat, they're all set to welcome Prime Minister Modi for Vibrant Gujarat Summit, and he's going to be setting the inaugural ceremony just in a moments from now, which will take place at Mahatma Mandir Convention Center in Gandhinagar. So probably that could be one reason of their absence from the street, and you can actually see some wonderful visuals from the convention center right here on our screens as well. So do stay glued in onto Business Today television to listen into what Prime Minister Modi has to say about what marks the 20 years of Vibrant Gujarat as a summit of success. With that, we will wrap up this special edition. Many thanks for tuning in.
Distilled by 2 decades of exponential progress that catapulted the state as one of the world's most preferred investment destinations. Gujarat's GDP of $14 billion in 2002 grew to an estimated $282 billion in financial year 2022-23, nurtured by all-round excellence that catalyzed socio-economic growth with inclusivity and unbridled entrepreneurship, led India into Amrit Kaal. Envisioned in the face of adversity by the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi at a time when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, the Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit bears on eloquent testimony to the characteristic resilience and the indomitable spirit of Gujarat. Inspired by Shri Modi's vision, the last 20 years have been an unparalleled saga of progress that has witnessed Vibrant Gujarat transform the state into India's growth engine. With unmatched state-of-the-art infrastructure, unsurpassed manufacturing prowess, and unparalleled growth.
From farm to fintech, drip irrigation to drones,
new age technological advancements in semiconductors and electronics.
From a vibrant startup ecosystem to flourishing e-commerce, From India's biggest hybrid energy park to the world's biggest diamond hub and office complex.
Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit has elevated the esteem and stature of the state within the country and beyond.
Gujarat is fully geared up to spearheading Industry 4.0, heralding the new industrial revolution with human augmentation frameworks and smart manufacturing propelled with the PM Gati Shakti. The transformative approach for integrated and multimodal connectivity. See the world's tomorrow in the Gujarat of today, where Dholera Special Investment Region, a future-ready greenfield smart city, lays the foundation of modern regenerative economies. India's first bullet train is being built to usher in a dynamic ecosystem by fostering innovation and adaptability. Artificial intelligence, robotics, and intelligent supply chain orchestration leverage symbiotic.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.